Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. Now,
I'm
Pedro
Pedro.
is
No,
on
I'm just kidding.
vacation, right? He's on vacation He's out there in the lap of paradise, cruising, island hopping. As you know, he's a big deal. You know, he's a YouTube celebrity. So but we are here. We are blessed with a friend of the show, content creator as well, Nova Dasher. Really appreciate him coming through. He does content, doing just grinding, doing the gig apps, doing DoorDash and whatnot. Appreciate him from coming through. His link is pinned in the chat if you guys want to check out his channel. You know, I really appreciate you coming through, man.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you. I know it's funny. We were just talking how we never actually talked before. I mean, we
Yeah.
talked like I send you, Instagram links or little memes or some big booty bitches every now and then. But
We have a good relationship, but for some reason we have not had a live stream or a real life conversation. So this is actually
Right.
the first time that we're talking to each other. But we see each other's videos, and we see, like, I've seen you've been on Pedro's lives a bunch of times. So I
Yeah.
already have know you a good amount.
Right.
We actually can talk face to face.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Pedro, I think he does a channel about DoorDash. I think he's a DoorDasher. He has a
Mhm.
YouTube channel where he talks about DoorDash a whole lot. I think he's a top dasher. I'm not sure. Just check it out if you're interested in that. But we got a great show. Appreciate you guys for coming through already. I see a few people already in there. Get giggity. Koala, what's going on? Princess, what's going on? Appreciate you for coming through. So it's a lot of sports going on. I mean, obviously with the NFL playoffs going on, and Nova Dasher is a proud Washington Commanders fan. I believe I may come in here as well. It may start yelling at you.
Yep. I have my trash can right here. This is vintage right now, man. You
Yeah.
can't buy this anymore.
Oh yeah, really? That's
Oh,
what's up.
but because it's the Redskins thing, so they don't sell like the Redskins anymore.
Yeah, that Redskins
So,
thing. So
mhm.
since you're my guest, I wanted, you'd have the floor a little bit. The season, right? Washington Commanders. How do you think it went when you look at the entire scope from your expectations from the beginning of the season to the end of the season? What's your thoughts?
See, before that season started, I knew Carson Wentz was going to go down. That was going to happen. This man has no ACLs. He's got no real muscles, no confidence. I knew he was going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Then when that happened, I'm like, okay, Heineke, I've seen him play. He's Daniel Jones-ish. You know what I'm saying?
He's a gamer, right? Like, he tries.
I think to me, Heineke is like a great value, type of quarterback. Like, you get him from Walmart type of thing. You know what I mean? But you know what he is, and you know what he isn't. And what I like about him is that he shows you that he really cares, and he plays for the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even in the last game, he was going to start, and then he told the coaches like, "Hey, why don't you let Sam Howell start?" Because he hasn't played all year in a game that was kind of meaningless for us. But I think what pissed me off was that when the game that mattered the most, our coach had no idea that we could be eliminated from the playoffs. Like, they asked him that in the conference, like he was like, "What? Really? Like, he had? How do you not know?
That's not.
How are you not aware? So I think it went, honestly, at times better than what I thought, because we started off rough. Like, I was like, what is going on? The Giants are like 6-1, and then y'all didn't win any more games for like weeks.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a stumble there.
Yeah, and then we had that weird tie. Like, I think football games should not end in ties. That's just weird.
Yeah,
I feel like it's un-American to end anything in a tie. Someone needs to win.
Yeah.
And then I went to see them. Play the Vikings, and of course they lost. So that was fun. But I think overall it went better than what I thought it was going to go. And we won against the Cowboys, which is really, for me, that's always nice. And we beat them well.
And we're going to talk about the Cowboys in a second. So what do you think? I mean, it may be obvious, but in terms of what you think they need to improve on.
Well, we just fired our offensive coordinator, which is way overdue. Scott Turner. He's gone after 3 years of being garbage, collecting a paycheck to be awful. So, but I always love those like press conferences where they're so polite, like, oh, we met and we decided to part ways, and it's like, no, you fired a dude. Like, he was bad. That's why he got fired.
It gotta be that PR speak, make sure
Yeah,
everyone is
yeah,
okay
yeah.
with the situation.
I think we had a lot of cool stories, like a running back that got shot before the season started, and then he actually played. And I seen all these memes that it was like, I forgot which player was injured, and he came back faster from gunshot wounds than someone else did from like a hamstring injury or something. But
Listen, who knows what's going on with that, right? Like the difference between the two, but
yeah,
you think that they need to clean house a little bit. Obviously,
yeah,
quarterback is definitely a concern.
I think Carson Wentz are not gonna pay him next year. I'm pretty sure he's expandable now, so they can just cut him loose without hitting the cap too much. I'm hoping that we pay Heineke just enough to hang around. Worst case scenario, he could be the backup. But I haven't seen enough from Sam Howell to be like, oh, he's the guy.
Right.
He's only played like one actual game. And yeah, he beat the Cowboys, but he also threw like an interception. And he had a couple of like, deer in the headlight moments kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people here are still kind of bitter with the whole name change. And is Dan Snyder going to sell the team? Is he not going to sell the team? All the weird allegations with the cheerleaders and all these weird,
He's
and
weird.
if you go to the facilities, like if you go to FedEx Field, it just looks so dated. Like you feel like you walk into like a time capsule from like the early 2000s.
I heard the experience to go to the game isn't the best experience.
It's not. I mean, it's always funny when they broadcast the game, they're always showing the Washington Monument, the White House. It's nowhere near there. It's like 45 minutes from there. So they call them the Washington football team, but they play in Maryland. They practice in Virginia, but technically they're a DC team. So you
can stay with the Giants, right? Where the Giants play. The Giants don't play.
Right.
In Jersey.
Yeah.
And I know another thing that bothers a lot of Commanders fans is the fact that when another team shows up, there's too many fans of the other team in the stadium. That gotta be pissing you off. Like
it's annoying, but I think as a Commanders fan, like you're going to the game, like do I want to give them my money? Do I want to pay $40 for parking? And then when you get into the game, a beer is like $20.
Yeah,
some basic chicken tenders is like $17. They just microwave that thing up.
Oh yeah, that's frozen. And
it was funny when I went to the last game. I'm like, why is there no line here? And they were selling Impossible burgers, like fake burgers, veggie burgers, for like $15.
Oh,
and I was like, no wonder there's no line here. Who's gonna buy a fake burger for $15?
I'm not. I'll just eat nothing.
Exactly. And but going to the game is also a lot of fun, but there's just they got to do a lot. I think next year it's going to be make or break for our coach for sure, because he's got 3 losing seasons basically.
You at least want your coach to get at least four seasons. 4 seasons to figure it out. And it's weird that I see a lot of firings for like 1 season. I think that's always seemed to be too soon, unless Dave, like Urban Meyer, who just completely embarrassed himself. And
either him or the guy from the Broncos. I mean, he was bad. You can't fire Russell Wilson, so then you got to fire the coach.
I mean, he didn't look good from the very beginning. When he decided to kick 80-yard field goal where, Russell Wilson probably was going to make that 4th down. So he was in over his head. So I kind of understand that, but we'll see. We'll see. And I'll at least say the positive thing. The NFC was kind of crap. And all 4 teams were good. Like they were gamers. They beat some teams they weren't expected to beat. They were not easy games. I mean, the Eagles were just destroying everyone and the Cowboys, whatever. But that all 4 were like solid teams. So at least that's something to tip your hat for. But
and that's what makes it annoying, because you should have won more games, you should have done better, and it's like certain games we should have won, we didn't win, so it's just annoying. But I've actually met the coach. I met him one time when I was dashing. Actually, he was going to dinner with his daughter or something. He's actually really tall. Like that kind of took me aback, because I was like, you're kind of tall. Because I know he's like Spanish and Hispanic, I'm like, we don't have tall people like that.
You got a little bit. You got a few. I've seen a few.
So I was like,
a couple of.
he was cool, and at the time he was going through the whole cancer thing, so it was very like Rivera strong and all these hashtags and all kinds of things. But I don't know, man. I wonder where we go from here. But I just know that the Giants are going to be one and done. Same thing with the Cowboys,
Well, you know what? Let's break this down. So that the playoffs is coming through soon. I'm really thinking like I want to put some bets. I want to put a bet not on my team
Hey,
though.
do a parlay.
Probably. Yeah, that's how I lose money. So I do straight bets, straight wins. I haven't lost money this season. I've only bet like a few times, but I haven't lost a lot of money this season. But Tampa Bay, Dallas, who you got?
I got Tom Brady all day, man, all day, all day.
Is this
Especially after
emotion? This is emotion speaking, or because Bucks have not looked good. Now
right.
they look good in the last game, and it seems like Tom Brady is just turning into some. This is what he does. Playoff. All of a sudden, he turns into some kind of like he's Yoda or something. All of a sudden, the power starts coming through, and he had a good game, but they didn't look great the whole year. It looked off, and you still think they're going to beat the Cowboys?
I think the Cowboys had an awful game against us, and it wasn't like they were resting their starters. Like everyone,
it was weird. Like
everybody was playing, so it wasn't even like, oh, we're playing some practice squad player you never heard of. No, everybody was there. CD Lamb, Prescott, everybody, and we had a rookie quarterback. So I was surprised at how bad they played. So I think Tom Brady's probably going to look at that film like, oh, we got this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, anything can happen. But I think Brady just turns it on in the playoffs, man. I think everybody around him, he's got studs everywhere. Mike Evans, Fournette, running back. Even though he lost Gronk, he still got pretty decent tight ends. So
yeah,
I think. Plus, I feel like I don't know, man. I wonder what it must be like that dynamic, knowing that he could probably be people's father. That's how old he is. That he could be someone's dad in the locker room. You know what I mean? So I wonder how that relationship is.
And I'm geared. It's Monday's a Monday night game, 8:15. I'm really thinking I may put some money on that one. The other teams we got the Seahawks versus the 49ers. I think the 49ers should get that one. Clippers and Jacksonville? Oh
yeah, Jacksonville. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
What's up? Yeah, Urban Meyer really didn't know what the hell he was doing. And I know you saying Giants is one and done. They only lost by a field goal the last time they met. Kirk Cousins falls apart in the playoffs. I got the Giants winning. Now you're gonna ask me if I'm gonna bet? No, but maybe I'll throw something in. I may throw something in.
I think my issue with the Giants all season long is that you guys are gonna go as far as Daniel Jones can take you, because he's either gonna be. He's going to make the throw or the run, or he's going to crumble and fall apart. Because we know what Saquon Barkley is. He's a stud, probably the best running back in the league. But you guys don't have any real receivers. You guys don't got any real tight ends. So it's I would say it goes Saquon, the kicker, Daniel Jones in level of importance.
And then Thibodeau, the dude that destroyed
decided he was doing the little
that's what we got.
He was killing us too. He was really good.
Yeah, he's good. He's a future stud. He definitely did not do the right thing with Nick Foles. Like he said, he didn't see him, and then you continue to do it. Hopefully, he learned. He's a young dude. Yeah. But I just think Kirk Cousins is gonna throw picks, man. Like this is what Cousins do. He gets paid a lot of money, throws out crazy season stats, like regular season. But he does his thing and then falls apart. So that's the only thing I'm hanging my hat on.
I see. They've had games where they were down by a lot that they come back and win. I think other games against the Packers when they just got destroyed. Yeah. So it's weird. It just depends on what Kirk Cousins wakes up that day.
That's why I don't think I should bet, because I don't know what's going. Either the Vikings could beat the team Giants by 30. Or lose by 30. Like I can't, you know what I mean? Like so.
I mean, I would do a bet, like a prop bet of like Kirk Cousins to throw an interception, Daniel Jones throw an interception, something like that. That could happen.
Yeah. I mean, Daniel Jones, I think he threw one the last game they had. So yeah, he'll do the Eli Manning throw the ball. Everyone in the stadium knows this is a bad ball. There's no way his teammates gonna catch this. Why'd he throw it? He has that look on his face. And you're like, all right. And then all of a sudden he'll throw like a great pass a couple of, sessions later. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on with that. Now I know you guys, we haven't ever talked about the WWE on this show. I don't know if anyone watches wrestling. I know you talk about wrestling on live streams and stuff like that.
I used to be, back in the day when it was WWF and like all the OGs like Stone Cold, Mankind, The Rock, Triple H before this current Triple H. Kurt Angle, all those guys. For sure.
The classics. And
I
I
mean,
haven't seen it. I only watch it when I'm around company, or there used to be a bar up in the city in East Village that will show it. And it's fun to watch with other people because everyone is, around my age.
Yeah.
They all know the classics. They all know, like, Stone Cold's, Undertaker's and whatnot. But I thought this was really interesting. The fact that WWE CEO, chairman of the board, Vince McMahon steps down a couple of months ago because it's been a big scandal that he was paying millions of dollars to basically hush money, that he was either sexually assaulting women or just doing some weird stuff with women.
Right.
And to stop them from talking, they pay him a lot of money. That came out. He had to step down. And then out of nowhere, he gets, and this is the reason why I want to talk about it. He basically, let me see if I got there you go. He was unanimously elected back as the chairman of the board. Like, how is that even possible? So he went back and said, "You guys gotta vote me back in," and they were like, "Yeah, this makes sense." And then his daughter, she resigns.
Yeah, so she posted like a weird statement. Like, I was reading it and I'm like, she said a lot without saying anything. She just wrote a bunch of words, basically.
PR speak.
Yeah.
And it's just weird. Okay, and then now they're exploring to sell the team. So this was the line. Vince is coming back to sell the team because the way it looks like, he'd rather have the team go, he'll have the company go anywhere but out of his control. He wants control, and he'll sell it to whoever. And there was been rumors that it's going to sell it to some Saudi investment group. And people are losing their minds.
I think it's the same guy who just bought like a soccer team too, like Newcastle. Like they just print money out there, man.
Yes, Saudis are. I mean, they got billions and billions of dollars. They pay. Listen, if you see an IG model vacationing in Saudi Arabia or Dubai, you must understand there's a reason why she is working.
Did you see the soccer player Cristiano Ronaldo? How they made an exemption in the law because he's not married to his girlfriend. So technically they couldn't live together, but because he's a new signing in Saudi Arabia, they're like exempt from that law. Like, he makes so much money, like the law doesn't apply to him.
Of course,
like I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
And the reason why WWE has had this long partnership with the Saudis for different, like the Crown Jewel, like these pay-per-views that they have over there, is because they paid them so much money. They're like, hey, listen, can you bring back Triple H and even though they're past their primes and they're oldest, whatever. And they'll do it because it's just too much money.
Right.
I mean, I guess me and you probably don't watch it as often as we do, but it'd be kind of messed up for them to sell it to a team to a place where women don't have all their rights.
That's interesting.
With other people who are currently on the roster,
like the divas, right?
I mean, they are. At one point, they weren't allowed to wrestle, and then they had to put on different type of outfits because they were they show a lot of skin.
Right. It went from like they were like showgirls kind of to like they're actually wrestlers to, I mean,
whatever
the current state
is. The 90s WWE, right, where it was a lot of sex, it was a lot of sexual people, and I miss it.
And the windows for sure. No, it's very PG now. It's very PG for sure.
Yeah, and these women perform. They do everything. So I'm just wondering, like, if they're saying it's a rumor, but if they actually do sell to the Saudi Arabia investment group, whatever they call them, what do you think is going to happen to the company? Do you think does it change anything? Like, what do you think will happen?
I think the other company is going to grow. What's the other one called? AEW. It's like another.
Oh yeah, that's the rival group.
I think that one would get more like an uptick in, like, maybe people are going to jump bandwagons into that, because they also have a lot of like former stars, like a lot of has-beens go there, so they can still be like, I wonder how that works, because they still use their name, so I thought it was like owned by WWE, or maybe not. So
it depends. Sometimes they change their names. It's called All Elite Wrestling. Some are homegrown stars,
right?
But a lot of them are people who jump ship. Like I think at one point Braun Strowman went there, then came back. CM Punk went there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, whatever's paying, and I would say they are a legit competition to WWE. Yeah, and that's still a homegrown product. So I guess they will probably get some more, because a lot of people, especially the talent, some of the talent is going to be there if this sale happens. they're probably not going to stick around unless you just make it so much money.
Right.
And Matthew Green coming in with the Godfather and the Hall. I guess that was your favorite wrestler back in the Attitude Era.
Goldust, you remember Goldust? The dude that had all
He
this
was a weirdo. I got older. I kind of appreciate him taking so much chances with the character because it was just so odd and uncomfortable.
Sure.
But now it's like, all right, whatever. I mean, my favorite wrestler, is an easy one. It's kind of a, it's not that much of a reach. Stone Cold was probably my favorite wrestler. When he was angry back in this is like 1995, 96, when he was pissed off of everyone, wanted to kill everybody, he hated Bret Hart. That was the best Stone Cold, I think. And peak Rock is, The Rock is obviously when he was on top of things, but those are the two that they don't have that. They don't have that right now.
It's different, it's a different time for sure. I remember Stone Cold when he was on top of that beer truck, just spraying Vince McMahon with the beer, just these classic things. They probably can't even show it on TV anymore, or when he filled up Vince McMahon's Corvette with cement or something, and you just see it it's just all these things that were so wild back then.
Yeah, the best bits were that one when Stone Cold I guess snuck into Vince's
hospital
room and beat the crap out of him with the bedpan. And the next one was Booker T in the grocery store. It didn't make any,
dude, that's a classic. That's a classic, man. That's a classic.
And shout out to Booker T. He got his ass kicked for 5 minutes straight, hit with milk. It was so funny and over the top. Matthew Green said he has Goldust autograph.
Nice.
Pretty awesome, man. I have no anything. I wish I had some memorabilia from some of these wrestlers. So we'll see. I don't know. I have no idea. At one point, they were saying us on Twitter, yeah, they sold to the Saudis. I was like, damn. And they're like, a couple hours later, no. They're exploring all their options. So, it's a couple of potential investors that can do it.
At this point, maybe one of them Saudis can buy the Commanders, man. Whatever.
Listen, as much as you have one of the worst owners of sports. I have one in the Knicks. They're both bad. James Dolan is so bad at this, and they try. Both of them try. They try to get people. It just doesn't. For some reason, I don't know if it's just juju in the air. It just doesn't work.
I think at some point they get too involved. If you go back to the whole RG3 era, he won an RG3 when the coach didn't want him. But he told him, no, you're going to draft RG3. And the coach is like, I don't want him. Shanahan at the time. But he ended up having to get him, And you
own a team. It's like you own a business, right? If someone came to you and said, well, we're going to do this, but you don't want to do that, you'll probably let them know, nah. But you would, but you shouldn't do that because you didn't make your billions by being a great football mind. You made your billions doing something else. But I do think if someone comes to Daniel Snyder and gives him some outrageous amount of money, I don't know, was it $4 billion, $6 billion? So if someone gave you $6 billion, you're gonna sell the team. Why would you keep it?
Hell yeah.
Right? $6 billion. No one comes across $6 billion every day. So if
I also feel like nowadays, who has that kind of money? I think it's just like Jeff Bezos, right? Unless you're selling it to some type of group.
A bunch of them, a bunch of people come in together to throw that much money around. Bezos can do it. Elon can do it. Bill Gates. And I heard Jeff Bezos was in the mix. I think it was him and Jay-Z.
Bezos to me just looks like we're seeing the origin story of a worldwide supervillain. He just gives me that vibe of have you seen his pictures when he was starting up Amazon? Looks like a goofy white dude. Yeah. And now you look at him and he just looks like the guy from Despicable Me, the bad dude. He looks like
it's all HEH, man. It's HEH and working out. That's why I told Pedro this a couple of episodes. When I get a little older, I'm gonna get some HGH. I'm gonna bulk up. I'm gonna be, as long as it doesn't affect my dick, I'm gonna go all in because I'm gonna look really good. I saw this photo of Dr. Dre at 57 years old, shredded. HGH. There is no other way. You don't naturally look that way. And he's working out. It's not a cheat code. Well, kind of says a cheat code, but you got to put the work in. You got to work out. You can't just take it and then the muscles start to. No, you still got to go in that gym. You still got to be there working out, busting out. But
I've seen Joe Rogan, right? He's calling out The Rock a couple times, saying that his physique's not natural and this and that.
Yeah,
There's no
but
way.
I guess he kind of say, like, hey, Rock, just let us know. Like, we already know, you're not natty. That's not natural. Just let us know. And it's probably true. If
I
you look
mean,
at The
look
Rock,
at him now,
yeah,
dude. He's shredded for sure. If
shout
you
out to
look at
Dash
him when he was
13.
rocking Maivia, he looks like he's fat, but he's not. You
He
know
got
what I mean?
Samoan
Like,
look. He got the Samoan look. He got
mhm.
the Usos look,
Yeah,
which they're strong. They'll kick your ass. But
for sure.
how are you in your 50s and you're shredded more than you ever have in your life? You're taking something. So
Yeah,
I think what Joe Rogan was saying is like, just let us know.
yeah.
Maybe, hey, let us know what your cycle is. We can copy this shit.
So we can
Like, let us
follow.
know
Yeah,
what's your routine. He could
right,
probably
right,
open up a chain of HGH therapy places and be a billionaire. It's like, hey, you want to look like The Rock?
I mean,
But again,
he already has tequila. He has that So energy drink.
oh yeah,
He's already like
Disney.
a movie star. He's got to be up there,
Oh yeah, he's
uh,
one of the most highly paid like
actors.
celebrities, actors
Right.
ever. And I don't. Do you think he can act?
I think he gives me like Arnold Schwarzenegger vibes, where like you watch it because he's in it,
Yeah.
but like when Arnold was talking, he's like get down, get to the chopper. Like you have no idea what he was really saying, but with The Rock, you can at least understand him. But I think he's evolved for sure. I think his first movie was what, the Scorpion King or something like that, when he was making like when he was still
I
wrestling.
think he kind of like a
In the
cameo
mummy,
in the
in the mummy, right?
Mummy,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
then he had a
All
movie. I think it was
CGI-ish.
called
Yeah,
He was on Get. Was he on Get Shorty? He had like a small role. Like, he has some ability. Obviously,
right.
I don't think he can act. Like, I don't
I
think he
think he
can.
has Rundown, right? Was that his
Yeah,
movie? Right, right,
he
right.
likes to be in the
Yeah,
jungle. There's like 45 movies of him in the jungle.
yeah,
I don't think he can act. I do enjoy watching him. Like, he's a
yeah.
spectacle. But in terms of acting ability, like, people give a lot of crap to John Cena. I think John Cena is a better actor than The Rock, at least in
Yeah.
comedy. John Cena can do really good comedy. And the last movie I was called The Peacemaker. I didn't watch it, but I heard good things. I heard that John Cena did pretty well. But any comedy skit I've seen, John Cena, he's funny.
I mean, I wonder what the real beef is between him and Vin Diesel. Have you heard of that beef that they don't like each other or whatever?
It
With
could be egos. There's
you know,
probably egos involved. You know how it is. I mean, to be honest, I have not watched a Fast and the Furious since
I mean,
3
Fast
or
and Furious
something.
movies are like Sharknado movies. You can just put them on. It's like
Yeah.
whatever is going on in the background doesn't even matter.
No, it's
So-
nothing. Yeah, it's something that I don't know, man. I think I'm getting too
Hey, but it
old.
makes money, man. It
Days.
makes money.
Yeah, as long as it makes money, no one
Yeah, I
cares.
think to me, after I started seeing like cars flying from building to building in like Abu Dhabi or something, I'm like, you lost me here, man. You
Yeah,
lost me. You know.
it got too ridiculous. Like, all right, well, I guess this is a cartoon now,
Yeah,
but
I mean, even the last one, I think Ludacris was like basically in the moon or in space with Tyrese at a certain point. Yeah.
shout out to Ludacris, man. Like, listen,
Hey man,
I don't
he's
know if
made
anyone
so much
remember
money
him
for
as a rapper. He
that.
was damn good. Again, this is a long time
Luda-
ago. How
yeah,
old are you? I don't know how old you are, but
me, I'm 29.
okay. So you may not remember peak Ludacris because it's been like 20 years. You may have, maybe when you were a little
Yeah, no,
younger.
there's a few songs I remember from him that he had.
Check out
Like,
his it's a debut album, but it's really, he released it and like it was like underground thing, and then he
mm,
went on a major label. It's called Back for the First Time. Listen to that album. Yo, he can rap, and
yeah,
he was hungry, and it's interesting now because now no one really knows him except for the Fast and Furious movies.
right. I
But
mean, to me, that reminds me of Chameleonaire. You know how he was
oh
everywhere
yeah,
back in the day, and then
yeah.
he just disappeared. And then one day he was like in the finals, the NBA finals. So he's making money somehow. But
Yeah,
he
I think
just
he's
he
been
just kind of
investing and stuff
yeah
like that to put
he
his money
just
in
he
the right
chose
way.
to walk away from like making records and stuff because at one point he was everywhere,
Yeah.
and then he just disappeared. You know.
You know what? As long as you got your money doing your things, it makes sense. Okay. We had the title, and I get a chance to talk about this. Have you heard about Power Slap?
I've seen like those Russian people that slap the crap out of each other. Is that what this is?
Same thing. So Dana White has launched this, and I've been looking at videos and checking it, looking at it. I'm gonna put it up right here. I know guys who are not who are probably listening to this later on if you want to download the podcast, but just look up Power Slap and let me know what your thoughts are. The slap competitions has been around for decades. It's
Yeah.
something is not anything new, but this one is a bit interesting because Dana White is, it's like basically another league he's starting.
Right.
And we'll talk about some of his legal or some of his issues right now. But I just want we'll play it real quick and just have an idea of like what is this? What is going on here? So this guy right here, he's making sure that they're working out. They even have
you gotta have that technique, man.
Technology to really do their thing. So
it kind of reminds me of whenever I want to slap a no tipper, I'm just like, I think it's whoever hits first, man. I think for me, it's whoever hits first has that advantage. Because if you can get somebody woozy, that's half the battle right there. But I think it takes more skill to do racing, like F1 racing, than it takes to do this.
Yeah.
I mean,
the way the slap competition is that both people stand right next to each other and they take turns slapping the living crap out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really hard. And I guess who has the loudest slap or the hardest? I've seen some slap competition where a person got knocked out from a slap.
Oh yeah. I mean, those Russian videos, man, those guys don't mess around. I've seen them like slap the crap out of each other. That's like the OG one for sure.
Do you think this has a future? Because this was Daniel. This is what Dana White is banking.
Look at that dude. Oh, for sure.
Do you think people will be interested in watching this?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think as a guy, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll watch someone get slapped. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, I think for sure. And I've seen this around back in the day in like World Star and whatnot when they used to post cool things. I think there's definitely a market for it. I mean, I don't know how you find these people. Are they professional slappers? Like, how do you get to that level of slapping? I don't know. Or they just find some random dude in the street. Hey, you want to, make a couple, make some money and get slapped?
I mean, maybe there's a few that may be those who are in the MMA kind of community and they're doing their thing and they're like, hey, you want to try something different? I mean, you're not going to be the UFC, but
have you seen the one? Have you seen the one where they put him like in a phone booth? Have you seen that one?
I've seen that. I've seen one. I don't know if it's real. I've seen what's called car jiu-jitsu. Two guys, one is in the passenger seat, one is in the driver's seat. They both are buckled in. I guess the bell rings or something. They all unbuckle and then they try to jiu-jitsu each other in the car. I don't know if I can find that. We're gonna find that real quick.
But I think it does take a level of discipline to not flinch or not move when you're about to get slapped.
And you have to stand there. You can't
exactly. You can't flinch, you can't move, so you got to just take it. So I think it does take a certain level of like, okay, it's about to go down. I got to take it like a champ. Because I think it's natural for you to want to get out the way or flinch or something.
Would you ever participate in a slap?
I mean, what's the monetary compensation, man? Maybe
Daniel Bailey pays the UFC fighters. I don't know who's gonna be paying the slap athletes a lot of money. That's one of the things they, remember we talk about the gig economy, Uber drivers and stuff like that. Are they employees or independent contractors? The UFC fighters are independent contractors. Now they do pay in case of injuries or whatnot, but they ain't paying for your training, your traveling, nothing. And you pay the fight, and that's it. They own everything else. And some people want to get unions involved, and which kind of makes more sense because you're an independent contractor for the UFC. You're not allowed once they find you for a couple of fights. You can't say, "Well, after this, I want to go fight for
Bellator or something else."
Not happening. So like, how you sign exclusively to one spot, but you're still an independent contractor? I mean, we could probably go back and forth with that.
Right.
Another episode. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not this. It's complicated.
Car jiu-jitsu championship. Yes. Okay.
So I'm showing Nova the car jiu-jitsu championship. So just type that in somehow if you know that on your YouTube if you're not watching it. So we're gonna watch. Let's see if we can get. We're gonna just start a contest. Okay, so
I wonder how they even come up with these. Like, let me, like the thought process behind it. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So they both are buckled in, and then the round goes, and they just start jiu-jitsuing each other, not fighting. No punching, no kicking, just jiu-jitsu, and it looks like they're playing grab ass a little bit. Okay, then I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I don't get why they gotta be buckled in when they're about to start fighting. So that's interesting.
You know what? It's kind of like they're following like an action movie where like two characters are about to
Right,
take
right,
on each
right.
other, but they're cordial right now, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta kill you," and then they start doing their thing.
Yeah, for
But,
sure.
yeah. So since I don't do any jujitsu, I don't know what's going on. That's one of the things I probably will do in the future. Learn how to do that because I think it's a pretty useful skill. But what do you think this is more interesting? This or he lost? Oh, he lost. Hey, yeah, he got him tapped out.
I think he tapped out.
You know what?
I think,
He should
man,
have been a passenger seat. He had more space. He got that steering wheel is blocking his.
see. I don't know why I thought it would be someone else was driving like remotely while they're wrestling. That would have been wild.
Okay, that would be cool. All right, let's take it
You
to the
got
next
someone
level.
else with like a little remote, and then the car's
Yeah.
going, and there. That would have been crazy.
Better idea. It's a pickup truck somehow, or one of those flatbeds. Two guys on the back of it is riding. They have to fight. You know, like maybe that could work. I mean, it's dangerous.
And you know, and these guys aren't even like Russian. They look like what, they may be British or American, like just on their names, Raymond and Davidson or whatever. Because a lot of the crazy stuff that I've seen is always from Russia or like Ukraine or something. You know, like one of those countries.
They're trying new stuff. I mean, props to this. I mean, I guess it's you're learning how, or you're fighting in a very tight, controlled area. So I guess that's kind of cool. Matthew Green said, Hannibal, this is fake taxi. Don't look up fake taxi right now, guys, because you won't watch the rest of the show. Hey, this is interesting. This is interesting. And then what you rather do? Be in what's this? What kind of car is that?
I don't even know. I'm surprised they're not like sponsored or like, you know, you don't see the brand right
Would you
away.
want to like, Tesla, you wrestling on Teslas?
Look at that. So I was driving Tesla while you're wrestling. There you go. You know, just
all right. So since we're already on the path talking about goofy sports, there's another one that I want to show you real quick. Have you heard about the World Balloon Championships?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. At least if I can find it.
That when that was happening, I was like, "There's no way this is real," and it is.
It really shows that we are children. Like we're children. This is what we care about. Like this is why we watch it. So there's a World Cup on this too.
I think anything that at some point has commentators, that's when you know it's like insane. Like when they're commentating, like look at the technique that he did the balloon and this and that. It's like what are you talking about?
This sport just started 5 minutes ago. How you already got like as if you're a color commentator? Like this is a big deal. All right, so this is balloon championship, guys. The balloon goes in the air. They throw it around and I guess they got try to smack it away from other person. And if it drops on the floor, they lose. And
they got a referee.
Yeah, they got a referee to make sure that it hits the ground so the person gets the point. This is the World Cup of the balloon championship.
They
got replays.
I bet you this referee is better than the one that was officiating the Giants Commanders game. Right now.
Listen, you gotta let that go, man. Probably never will. I mean, people still think Dad's catch caught it or not. Yes, Matthew, they do have helmets on because it's all over. First of all, why does a car? Why does a car?
It's probably sponsored, to be there.
So on the world in this thing, it's like an obstacle course. They got a couch, they got a car, and they just smack a small red balloon around. And right now Peru is up 2 versus what is that place?
Germany. It's Germany.
Yeah. So what do you think? So of all 3 sports, which one do you think is your favorite?
Oh, this one hands down. I've been doing this since I was a little kid.
Yeah, right.
Like everybody else.
Yeah, like we should definitely.
I mean, is it a special balloon like filled with helium or something, or just a normal ass balloon with normal air?
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
They got some plays, but you see, I would be smacking that real like, no, you ain't touching this one when to it pops. But yeah, so you could tell that apparently we're just getting bored of our sports and we just trying to find new stuff. I guess football doesn't do it anymore for people. I don't know.
Have you seen? This is kind of random. Have you seen the video of Odell Beckham getting kicked out of the airplane? They just released it. I think
I did not. Is that on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. Yeah, I was watching it earlier. So I guess he must have been partying the night before or something, and they were trying to get him to fasten his seatbelt, to take
Oh
off.
yes,
And
yes.
he was like incoherent or like he wasn't listening. Then at some point they were like, "Oh, he took off his pants, but he got shorts," and it was weird because then when the cops came, the cops were like, "What's the problem?" And then they were like, "Oh, we want him removed because he's what if something happens in the air? It's a 5 hour flight." And because he didn't want to leave, they had to like deplane everybody.
Yeah, that's how
And
it goes.
and people were like, yelling at him, and he was like, "I don't give a f about you," and this and that. Like they were
Was
going
he
back and forth
high?
on it.
Was he high?
I think he
I mean,
was on
was
something.
he was on something. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
problem. Some people.
I think you just skip it to like around the 14-minute mark. I think it's probably where
All
it's
right,
he's
we
already
go
like,
14.
yeah,
You
yeah,
got sound?
yeah, around that. Yeah, they had sound around that time.
Let me see if I can. Let me see.
Everything wrong with the world.
Okay, I have this on mute.
Looking at me to get off the plane for you. I would never, ever in my life get off the plane for you. Specifically you.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody else. I would get off the plane. This shit don't mean nothing to me. Ain't no way you could look at me. Ever.
And it's the weird thing that Odell Beckham is cool. Like he's a cool dude publicly. He doesn't.
40 minutes.
He was on something.
On a private plane home.
Oh, now I'm all. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I know he was definitely on something for sure.
Got
But
an echo going. In a second.
yeah, it's I think he forgets, man. These things are recorded nowadays. They got body cams. Everything gets released at some point. Can you imagine if you do the slapping fight and like in 10 years your kid sees it? Dad, you were a slapping champion? Of course, I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. Everything is on YouTube nowadays.
Yeah. I was trying to show it, but it's giving me an echo. I haven't figured out how to get that echo out of there.
So basically, I watched almost all of it, and basically they ask him to leave. If not, then everybody has to leave the plane. And the passengers start telling Odell, "Hey man, can you just leave?" And he's like, "No, like why would I leave for you?" And they just go back and forth, and a lot of cussing and this and that.
Remember, he was supposed to be the wide receiver that everybody wanted to get, and he was going to sign, and he, the Giants wanted him, and then like the Rams wanted him, and then what happened?
I think the problem was with Odell is, let's be real, he wasted his prime with the Giants, and then after that he was injury prone, and then he did win a Super Bowl, but then literally like towards ACL in that game, right?
Yeah.
And
to be honest, if he didn't do that, he would probably have been MVP. Like he was.
Yeah.
Matthew, the only person Stafford was able to do anything, and Cooper Kupp at the same time, but it was in that first half, he was thrown into Odell, and then Odell ruptured. He's injury prone, but that's the thing about flying. People think, okay, I gotta fly. I'm nervous. I have some anxiety. Let me go take something. You might as well just go there cold turkey. Stop trying to take Xanny. Stop taking the Xanny bars. Stop taking the edibles. Because I feel like a lot of them, what happens is they're too high. They start getting panicky, and they're mad with everybody, and they're getting confused. And that's probably what
the weird part is like he got in fine. Went through security. Was in his seat. And then I don't know if maybe he had all his composure to that point. Like, okay, I'm sitting down. I'm gonna let go, and then he just couldn't get himself back. But the whole thing happened was because he didn't want to fasten his seatbelt, or they were saying they were tapping him to wake up, and he was just like laying there incoherent, and that's what they called like the cops and EMS and whatnot. So it's definitely interesting for sure.
You know what? I would like for him to come back to the league. I think hopefully he's healthy to do that.
Yeah.
But I remember people were wanting to get him, and then they realized, oh, he's still kind of hurting. I don't know if this situation stopped him from grabbing him, because this kind of happened here where he was supposed to get signed somewhere, and then everyone was like,
I think he's gonna be like a Deshaun Jackson type of player, where he'll give you one explosive play a game, and then he'll be MIA the rest of the game because that's all he could do, just the one play. Especially once he gets older, But Deshaun Jackson's still playing. Pretty sure he's still playing.
He had a good run, maybe last week or something like that. I forgot. I forgot what team. Is he on the Ravens?
It's just funny how a lot of players just fall off, man. Like, look at Julio Jones. He was like the guy for years.
Yeah,
and then just disappeared, like from the face of the earth, just like that. But Yeah, it's a lot of players. Like when you guys had Victor Cruz, and then y'all like ditched him like he was some garbage. And
Well, listen, we win championships over here, man. And if you can't keep up, yeah, Deshaun Jackson plays for the Ravens right now. And what's going on with the Ravens? Like,
ooh, you know what's funny? I was gonna say that. Have you heard of that trade that they might trade Lamar for Justin Fields because the Bears have all this money they can pay Lamar, and the Ravens don't want to pay Lamar. They would have paid him already. You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting. I don't know if Lamar would go for that, but I feel like
Lamar wants to get paid. So like wherever Lamar feel appreciated, he wants that guaranteed money. They don't want to do it. They're all mad at what Deshaun Watson and what the Cleveland Browns did, giving them all that guaranteed money.
Hey, say what you say about Kirk Cousins, but you started that trend. Kirk Cousins was the first player to get like fully guaranteed deal to just be really good in the regular season.
Just to be really good, just to throw some good numbers. So and it's an interesting thing, right? Like you think about football and quitting, and not saying quitting a team, but if Lamar doesn't even try to play for this
it's a bad look, man. Yeah.
You think it's a bad look, or you think no? His money is most important. He can get hurt. That messes up his money more. Like, what would you tell Lamar?
I guess to me, like, what's the difference? I'm sure the Ravens offer him a bunch of money, but in his mind, it's not enough, right?
Guaranteed.
So I think it's tricky because let's say he gets hurt or something, or they don't play well, and then his stock drops, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe other teams see him as he's not team or friendly. He's not like, he's not going to do what like Tom Brady did. Like, let me take less money, pay somebody else so we can be good long term. Yeah. I think, but at the same time, I can't blame you. Like, you're over there getting tackled by 300-pound dudes. Like, I want to get paid, So it's, I don't know. I think I could see it both ways, but I think in the end, it kind of just falls on the Ravens because he did win an MVP, right? They did go to the Super Bowl, didn't they? And they lost, if I'm not mistaken. So he's taking them there already in that rookie deal. So it's like,
Yeah, I don't know if they got to. I got to check. I don't think so, but he's done enough to get the deal. The problem is that the running style, he gets hurt. He's hurt right currently, but I don't think he may not be that hurt right now. I think he's like, I'm not going to play this playoff game. He could throw. He has improved his throwing motion. I don't know. I mean, Justin Fields and Pedro loves his quarterback. That's the only bright spot they have right now. But they got the number 1 pick. There's this quarterback that's supposed to be really good that's coming out. I forgot, was it Bryce Young? I forgot the name of there's supposed to be this top flight quarterback, can't miss dude that's supposed to be coming into the NFL.
I think those are the type of quarterbacks you kind of stay away from, and the ones that are like, oh, he's a sure deal. He can't miss, and then they play, and then they're just bad.
Yeah, Sam Darnold. Yeah,
or like, do you remember Josh Rosen?
Oh yeah, that was a minute ago.
But in New York City, we have those. He was probably the latest bust in a while. Even on the draft day, he said, "Oh, they've made 7 mistakes, or whatever people got drafted ahead of him. They made this many mistakes, and homie's been literally garbage, like forgotten quarterback, basically."
The quarterback is really hard and difficult to figure out. I mean, I see Sam Darnold, I see Zach Wilson. They really whiffed on that one. That he looks terrible.
He's just a MILF hunter. Yeah.
He says people don't like him, and he can't play. It's like too much going on. Daniel Jones, we're still trying to figure out. Am I 100%? No, I'm not. But he'll show sparks, and at least he doesn't say stupid things. He don't say that. Well, defense. Well, I ain't messing with defense. It's not my fault. Like the way Zach Wilson. Like that's just ridiculous. So at least he's a reasonable human being. But
I think at least with Zach Wilson, he's young. But like if you look at like Russell Wilson, when like I don't know if you heard about his birthday party that like half the team didn't show up or something. Like that's like a bad look, man. Like if you're the QB, like people didn't show up to your birthday. That's But I don't know. I feel like Russell Wilson is just like a weird dude. I don't know.
He's too weird, and it looks like the Seahawks protected him in his weirdness, where all he did was play, and I think Pete Carroll put him in the best positions to win, and he thought, like we all thought, that he could go anywhere, but you took him to a rookie head coach. He did not know, he made bad decision. First game, bad decision.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can find a guy that has some experience. Stop tiring these young guys. They think these, everyone wants to get the guy from the Rams. They want these young guys.
Like the new Sean McVay type quarterback or type coach. Yeah.
Stop.
But I think the Broncos head coaching, it's like I don't think anybody wants that job, man. I feel like John Elway has missed so many years, like so many things he's done. There's just all been swing and a miss. Like maybe when he brought Peyton Manning, but then after that, everybody he drafted after that was garbage.
He's milking that Super Bowl ring. He's milking that. Yeah. You do it when you win it.
And even that one was a lot. Even that was more Von Miller than really Peyton Manning. Peyton
Manning's arm just died. Like it just didn't work. He couldn't throw.
He didn't have that strength anymore. Yeah.
Oh yeah, couldn't throw. But he got enough to win. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
And in the end, all people see is Super Bowl. Champion. So.
Yeah, I mean the Giants have a few, so we know that it's really important.
For sure.
It's really important. before we end this, we didn't talk about any NBA, man. How's your?
Hey, the Wizards won today. I saw that. I got a notification that Kyle Kuzma. See, Kyle Kuzma looks good because he plays in the Wizards. If you played any other team, like he would just be average if that.
How's it tall there used to be in the Knicks? Chris Bass. Is he
in the corner? Kristaps, and you know what? I think he is hurt. I think he's hurt actually.
Man. I can't even talk too much shit because KD. These people are too tall. And then
I really thought he was gonna do well with Luka. I'm like, this is a good pair, but it didn't last for whatever reason. Like Porzingis and Luka in the Mavericks.
Luka's a machine, man. And he doesn't look fit. Like he's not.
What's the dude from Denver? Joker.
Joker. Yeah, like these guys are dominant.
If you look at him, he's like the most unathletic looking dude, but he's out there like destroying people.
And he may get another MVP. I would now. I would give it to Luka because if you take Luka from the Mavericks, I don't know, they're a lottery team. So they joke off. They still got Jamal. They got some decent play. It's a good run team, and Joker runs everything. The guy's he's passing. He's the best passer on the team. He's the tallest guy on the team. He does everything. He does all these
cool passes too, like those no look passes and stuff. But I think Jamal Murray kind of fell off though after like the bubble. He's kind of been injured, never really the same.
Yeah. But I think I would give it to Luka. He's a Superman. I mean, he's doing everything. But it doesn't really matter. It's going to be either those two. Like, did
you see that fight that happened with the Heat? I think where I forgot the player who threw like a massager into the game. Did you hear about that?
I've heard they won that game, didn't they? Right?
I think so, but I don't know. He got so mad he like threw like a little massager and just threw it in the court.
Yeah, Miami Heat. That's how they function. They just want to argue and fight with each other because I remember. I think they either had a fight with each other, like
it was the coach. It was the coach, and I think Dwayne Dedman. I think is his name. I'm not even sure what his name was.
And they won that game. And they made 40 free throws in a row. NBA record. And they're fighting each other. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Actually, there's one thing I want to talk about before we leave. I'm sure you're fully Gilbert Arenas. You know that guy.
Of course, yeah. Cool story. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Gilbert. That dude was the man. I don't know what. I guess maybe his injuries that fell off. He negotiated $100 million contract and then like he didn't want to play anymore. I don't know.
Hey man, that's how you do
Curry,
it.
He was Steph Curry before Steph Curry. Like he would just launching these 3-pointers. But anyway. He does a lot of podcasts now, and he sometimes he throws some hot takes out there, but he popped one in that I thought was really interesting, and I want to know your opinion on it. He said that Jamal Crawford was a better individual player than Manu Ginobili. Is that a hot take that's just ridiculous, or does that have merit? And I really sat back and thought about it. What's your thoughts? Like, do you think Jamal Crawford was a And it gets individual play, obviously, because Ginobili has
I
all these
think
rings.
this is something that like Max Kellerman would say. That just makes no freaking sense. I don't think so. It's like, well, wasn't he the one that was like, I would pick Iguodala to have my last or whatever?
Gilbert throws a lot of hot takes, but this one you think is no merit at all?
Man, I think Jamal Crawford was a really good player, but I don't think he was at that level. Even just in a personal, like if you take away the team aspect of it, I think Manu did a lot, man. I don't know. I think it's something that was it's definitely random. Like I don't know how he came up with that analogy, but
I don't know. I think Crawford is back. He's doing. I think he's on TNT or he's
he joined TNT. I think with like Shaq and them. Yeah. He joined them.
But
I don't know, man. I think they had different roles. I think Crawford's always kind of stayed in that same like 6-man type of role for like a long time. I think Manu crossover. I think he became that eventually, but he wasn't always like that. So I don't know. I think it's something maybe that could juggle the interest and might make people think, but I don't think it's true.
Yeah, definitely. What Manu was able to do, especially being coach under Popovich, that pushed him. He fit where he belonged on the Spurs team. And Crawford, for some reason, he just jumped to different teams. For some reason, I don't know, is it defense that was lacking? Because Crawford could score. He can obviously had handles. I mean, Crawford that's one thing he had. Dude, he crossed anybody up. I don't know if he was just 2-and-1 for some people, like in terms of he wasn't as versatile as Ginobili. I guess it wasn't that big of a take to me. But if you had one player, I mean, one is a Hall of Fame player and one isn't. So you kind of already have the answer of who was a better player. And obviously he was with Tim Duncan, one of the greatest power forwards ever. We do forget that how great Tony Parker was point guard.
Yeah.
He was a damn good point guard.
I think it was kind of sad that he ended up washing out with the Hornets, right? Wasn't he like in the Hornets?
That was embarrassing.
Like just random. Yeah.
When I see Patrick Ewing in like a Magic jersey, it hurts. It looks like, what are you doing?
It's weird, yeah. Even when MJ came to the Wizards, I'm like, this just looks like it's Photoshop. Like it don't look right. And they had some ugly jerseys too. It wasn't even like the jerseys look good. They had some ugly jerseys.
Yeah.
In the era where there were some good looking ones, like the Grizzlies back in, they had a nice jersey. Like, like I don't know.
Yeah.
All the DC teams just got terrible jerseys, man. Just
Bobby comes in. He says 1-on-1. Crawford wins. Manuel better team player. Yeah, I would assume so.
It's a team game, though. So
yeah. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I think I feel like Crawford could probably play. He looks young. Like he probably still dropping some buckets. ISO Joe Johnson. I see YouTube clips. He's crossing people up, but I guess he still does the big three. Is big three still around?
I want to say it is. Yeah. Did you ever see that little documentary on Netflix about like the N1 and
no?
It's good. It's really good about how they just basically took it by storm, and it has how they had like the players and stuff, like the street ballers and whatnot. It's really good.
Yeah, really it was a phenomenon, and it was a big deal, and but you also realize the difference between a street ball player and an NBA player. But I know
they were making some money though. They were getting paid.
Yeah, they got the clothing a little bit there. I know the professor has a YouTube channel. I think he posts regularly.
Yeah. But I think he's the only one that's pretty much active out of all of them still, like to this day.
Yeah.
But it's cool because they interview everybody. Yeah, it's really good because they interview everyone. So everybody has something to say about how the successes, the downfalls, but even now the brand's still around, but I think they sold it. So it's somebody else that runs it now or whatever. Like if you go to Walmart or something, it'll be there.
A recommendation from the Nova Dasher: check out the N1 documentary. This hour went by really fast, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Hey, thank you for having me.
You're always welcome. If you ever want to jump in talking about clowning Pedro's Bears, they're terrible. They're worse than both our teams. Like he needs all the help. You know, they should trade that number 1 pick and get a bunch of picks. They should not try to get a quarterback. They should keep Justin Fields. Give him
I think
someone to
Justin
throw the ball.
Fields somehow ended up being like, the one saving grace of their season. Because imagine if they were like 3 and whatever their record is, and they had no quarterback. That would be even worse.
It'll be
You know?
worse. The dude
You know what I mean?
runs. He runs like Lamar. Like I've seen a few runs. It looks like he's a running back over there. So, and a lot of people kept saying he actually threw in college. Like he actually knows how to throw. But he's not throwing anyone. So get him some receivers and make Pedro happy because he was really sad this entire.
I mean, you could argue the same thing with Daniel Jones. He doesn't have any real receivers,
That's true. We'll see.
I mean, except for Galladay, but I don't know what's up with him and you guys. Like that dude's he's getting paid. He's getting paid. That's all he's doing. So who do you have winning the Super Bowl though? Who do you got going and who do you got winning?
I don't. I'm going with the Chiefs. I know it's a very easy one to pop in there. I just I don't know. Nothing. The Bills. I would like the Bills to win. That'd be great. It'd be a great story for it to happen.
Like the whole Lamar thing.
I just think like Josh Allen, for some reason, he loses in the most dramatic way possible. I think I talked about it before. Like how did he lose this one? Like I just feel like he doesn't do a little bit. Like he's a great quarterback, and just for some reason he just lose like by a point or by a bad.
When you lose like that, it's not on you though. Or at least the perception of it wasn't on him. Like the team let him down.
No, yeah, it wasn't like not like a game losing interception type thing, but just always something happens. But that's my guy. So the Chiefs, and that's an easy pick kind of because they can easily get back there quickly since they got the bye and everything. But I'm gonna go see how this round goes, this Sunday goes, and we'll see.
I'm gonna send you some parlays. Want to have Kirk Cousins throwing for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, Justin Jefferson going 100 yards. That's a gimme nowadays.
That's a possibility. That may actually happen. And then he may throw 3 picks. I don't know. I don't know if I'm touching that game. But I'm probably going to put some money on the Cowboys.
I think I definitely bet a lot with my heart sometimes, which is why I don't, And it's funny because sometimes that's the one that ruins my parlay. Like everything else happened, and then my Commanders can beat the Browns, or whatever, So
but maybe it probably worked for you since your team is not in it. But if you put the Cowboys game in your parlay, you may have your emotion on that one because we all hate the Cowboys. But if you do the rest of the teams, you don't have a dog to fight, so you have more of a logical sense. Like I think this is what may happen. So we'll see.
Yeah, but even then, man, sometimes when I see whatever the sports books are saying, they know something we don't know, man. Sometimes
they're too good. What was that one? It was a one game. You may have heard of like they were supposed to lose. Like they had like the largest spread ever, and it didn't like. No, I forgot what it was, but Vegas had something that didn't make any sense, but they were right. I forgot what game.
Exactly. Yeah, I think man, upset for the wildcard weekend. Well, I definitely think that people would think it's an upset that Tampa wins. I think people think the Cowboys are going to roll through.
Yeah. Well, I think most people who don't like Cowboys won't think.
I think the Seahawks are going to win.
Get out of here.
I think Brock Purdy is like one bad sack away from who the heck is the next guy up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anyone. Miami ain't beating Buffalo.
Yeah, nah.
Ravens, if there's no Lamar, they don't win versus the Bengals. You know, to be honest, you're not gonna hear this. You're not gonna like this. The easiest or the more likely to have an upset is the Vikings and Giants. Because I don't see the other teams, and they will lose. I'm just looking at it. I don't see Jacksonville versus LA. Like,
hey, you know what? Jacksonville's pretty good. Like,
yeah, that's a good upset. Yeah. Jacksonville may win that one. So those are only 2. Everything else just like.
I think Gino's gonna He's gonna channel that inner. They wrote me off, but I didn't write back thing. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna come out. Did you see he broke the Seahawks single season like yards record?
Yeah.
And he's his first year there. You know, so I
I
think
would love if Gino's, because I was talking a lot of shit about Gino earlier on the season. Like, yeah, he was on the Giants. He didn't do a damn thing. Like, calm down, Pedro. But no, he put up a pretty good season. It would be
yeah,
nice if he did. That would be the upset if the Seahawks beat the 49ers.
I,
Even
I
with
think
the 49ers not having like a quarterback that they had the whole year, they loaded, man. That team is loaded. So if they lose, it is a
I
pickup.
think I could go out there and play QB, and we looking good, man. Because like you said, they got George Kittle, they got the running back. I can't remember his name right now. They have receivers,
Yeah,
they have
like
Bosa, they have defense. So it's like I don't know, but I think Geno Smith is going to go out there and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I think he's gonna go out there and he's gonna beat that ass. Like he's not even gonna beat them. He's gonna whoop him. You know what I'm saying?
You put money on this?
Probably, maybe. I gotta see what the sports was gonna say.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead, do your thing. Obviously you send me some of your results, but we'll see. Yeah, Bobby, I'm saying, Giants. I think so. It's the easiest one. They're going to be an upset. That one's the clearest one that it's possible. First of all, because they lost by only 3 points a couple of weeks ago. But that Seahawks one, that would be the game. That would be the story of the entire playoffs, at least up to that point, if that happens, because they still think the 49ers are going to go to at least to the
NFC Championship, probably.
At least, right? So we'll see, man. So you got me a lot to think about. I got to check out that documentary on N1, and I got to see how much money I'm going to waste spending and betting like a degenerate like I am. But,
man. No,
on that note, guys, Nova, appreciate you coming through. Like I said, always welcome to come through at all times. And thank you guys for coming through as well. We'll be back. I think Pedro's back on Monday. He may be still on the boat. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Pedro. But on that note, have a good night, guys. Peace.
Take care.
All right.